So, welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. This time we're going to be talking all about Tracer. This time we're going to be talking all about flanking. We're going to be talking a little bit about Doomfist. Doomfist was going to sneak into here, just because, you know, everyone wants to talk about Doomfist right now, myself included. But this footage was submitted by a long-time viewer and long-time sort of friend of the stream, which is MADA MADA. And yeah, he's like, this game is about a 3.1k rating game. Oh god, there's a tip as well. Oh no, Red Razor Aaron's doing it again.
Let's make this a nice round number smile.
It's hugely appreciated as ever, of course, Red Razor Aaron. You give too much. You're a crazy person. You are a crazy person. You people are nuts. I get baffled and humbled every time you give stuff. MADA himself is about 3.4k player, but decayed down, so, you know, think of that what you will. He's pretty good. He's been a long time flanker player, so we're expecting quite a lot, and this is going to be quite nitpicky. Otherwise, let's get rid of Twitch chat. Let's get rid of the garbage on the screen. Let's start playing this out. So we're starting off on Anubis, on Oasis. This quality the best we're going to get? I think so. And so basically, what they are. So right now, let's put this into context. They're in a 3-stack at the moment, and these three play together quite a lot from what I'm aware of. So it's Sonority, Immortal Pyro, and MADA in a 3-stack together. And they're going to be sort of running this very heavy dive comp. If you press this tab on the way out, that'll be hugely appreciated. Some moment pressing tab, no, okay. So from what I can remember, the dive comp is pretty standard dive. We've got the Lucio, we've got D.Va. I think there's actually a Roadhog mixed in there. This is like post-nerf Roadhog as well, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of functions in this big group. We have an Ana and a Lucio, so we don't have a Zenyatta. And the enemy team is running a Reaper. So, of course, first thing we should be doing when we're playing Tracer in any kind of flanker comp is, in these first couple of seconds, we need to be feeling out the enemy team. We want to feel out the enemy team as much as possible. Like, we want to know what they're going up against, and sort of spotting out stuff like this Reaper is going to be very, very important. Spotting out stuff like this, the fact that they've got a Roadhog as well, is going to be super duper important. So it's going to be really vital to know, like, these guys are around as Tracer, because if you don't, then you turn a corner, then you're going to get smashed. So a little bit of scouting, then sort of going in a little bit aggressive.
Go point, go point. Genji's on point.
Like the fact that there's calls about where to go and what to do, and honestly, I like this movement onto point. You've already won the fight, they can't really contest you, and if they try, they're just going to die in the process, so that's pretty good.
I've done 111. I've done 200. Understandable.
Alright, let's see what these people can find. I like the fact that we're poking out and we're just going back and getting healing, which is good. We don't have to do anything too aggressive. Let's just get on the Genji as best we can. We're down to half. Let's not go too aggro. This might actually not be... Wow, this is actually a very old video, apparently. So this is actually pre-Roadhog nerf, even though post-nerf it's probably the same. Just goes to show how hard up I am for footage. Send footage in. Anyway. So... It's worth mentioning as well that MADA plays with Japanese voices, because he's a fucking weeb. So yeah. Beautiful damage going on to the McCree. Good follow-up as well. It might have been starting a little bit too far away from my taste, but still got the job done, especially because we're only on one blink. Like, we just get a good start on him, and then we can pretty much go and confirm this kill before he can hope to react. If he does react and get the flash on us, then okay, fair enough to him.
No, don't like this.
Boss bomb. Doesn't land. Feels bad, man. Honestly, not the biggest deal in the world. We're now installing the mode, so we should be playing to stall. Important to mention, like, stuff we should be aware of is when we do stuff like this. This is actually very, very important to spot out. Because this tells you that there is an Ana to, like, that way. You know, so we know that there is an Ana stood in the doorway over there. Which means we know we can get healing if we're bouncing around in sort of this half of the control point. So we can do quite a lot when we are bouncing around in this kind of area. Again, just going straight for that Ana. She's going to come straight back so we can try and evade that. If we get hit by this, then we're going to die. We're going to die. Not too much we can do about that. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it happens. Oh, these Japanese voices. The Japanese voice acting is really good, though. Like, they got some really high-quality professionals. I'd like to see just tab being pressed a little bit more on the way out. Even get, like, a frame of it. There we go. Just so we know what we're sort of going up against it. Also, it's just good to sort of keep track of what the enemy team's running. Which, right now, I'd say is actually a pretty intense comp for a Tracer to play against. Like, in terms of stuff we're focusing, we're mostly just going to be bullying the shit out of Roadhog and then trying to get pressure onto this Mercy. That's sort of the plan that I will be going with. And then if you can get pressure onto, like, Ana or McCree or something, then sure, but otherwise, like, this is our primary bully target, this is our primary kill target, and then trying to just build up off the back of that. But what we've got now in sort of our war chest also is not that strong.
Genji for warfare.
Like I say, the enemy team lineup is actually pretty good against the dive that we are trying to run into it. So we've got to be very careful. We've got to be very careful, especially if trying to push into places like this, especially because this is pre-nerf Roadhog. Even with post-nerf Roadhog, he's going to be a problem in like very tight environments. So I'm happy to see that we don't engage from that angle.
I get it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And hook and die.
Wait, how did... Oh, the Roadhog was here.
Yeah,
You see people pushing it through a tight choke point, hooked, killed, dead. Hooked, killed, dead. They are starting to brute force their way through, which I'd say is more of a failing of the enemy team than anything that we're doing right. Because we were basically a complete non-factor in that, so the Genji's just got a bunch of free stuff. Mercy picks up the res, the Roadhog comes back, and fine with us just focusing on him, especially now that he's purple. Bide our time, use the recall, good. Get a pulse bomb, pulling back. Point still there, so they've used Tac Visor. That actually creates an opening for us, so we want to keep that in mind. Like, we need to be keeping an eye out for stuff like that, and we can probably do something off the back of this. But there's an opportunity now to find a way in. Soldier's not just going to kill us. We should just be looking to put this pulse bomb on something, especially if they start fighting around these choke points. Blink in, double blink, get a kill. Roadhog gets a pick, feels good, man. Go for the kill on the pulse bomb. Again, I'm fine with that. I think, like, pulse bombs like this one, that's changing the sound. Pulse bombs like this one are always going to be a little bit dicey. Just because he can see you coming, so he's going to be moving. So what I found is it's best to try and do these kind of pulse bombs, like where you're going to do like a double blink and just surge forward and try and get someone, if you're coming in from an angle that they can't see you coming in from. Because he's just going to pull back at the moment. Like, there's no way he stays there. Otherwise, perfectly fine with us just cleaning up the diva. We'll be just doing the cleanup.
Nice.
Keeping an eye for any contesting, but everyone seems to be dead or missing. Tracer, insufferably cute in English, even more insufferably cute in Japanese, clearly. Or kawaii, I guess. I suppose.
I don't know how people mistake you for Miska.
Jesus.
How?
You're Swedish. Swedish. Like, oh, it's
So this I don't like too much.
Swedish.
Like, poking in here is fine, but when you start seeing that their entire push is just, like, advancing through here, like, what are we going to do in this choke point? We're going to do a little bit of damage, sure, but we're not going to be able to really get a finishing blow on anything. If we're going to try and engage, like, if we get any opportunity, what we're going to do? Blink forward? We're going to fucking die if we do that. So I would honestly be happy with us just taking our time and going round, trying to get onto their support lines, rather than trying to just brute force into this. Roadhog's already doing his job and brute forcing this back. This is just creating a window for us to get round and do something.
Of that language of Sweden. All Swedes sound like similar to you.
The accent's kind of...
Greedy bomb, but works out.
That's it.
The diva really should have caught that,
Yeah.
but didn't, so hey, we get an advantage.
Oh shit.
He got wrecked.
Heroes never die, apparently.
All Swedes.
Like, this to me is just ridiculously greedy.
The accent...
The fact that we get past the diva, like, divas should be turning and facing tracers, like, as they go in. It's just a natural thing. If you see a tracer doing this, she's going for a pulse bomb, or she's going to one-clip someone. Like, that's a tracer looking for a kill.
Oh shit.
He got wrecked.
Doing it okay. 92% on the point, should be feeling pretty good. McCree starts peeling around, starts getting one. Nice dodge on the flashbang. Very nice dodge on the flashbang. Good cleanup from Genji. The bit rate's probably going a bit crazy because there's whole hogs going off everywhere and the video is already a little bit muggy. It starts off as an easy win. Spoiler alert, it don't go so easy, as you can see from the timestamp. Alright, let's see.
The thought counts.
You need a footage, figure you're swimming in it, more footage is always the better.
Yes.
I kinda like Oasis now, after I played it a while.
Right, let's see what it can do on this map. So, Oasis City Center.
I like
This is where it can get a bit clusterfucky. This is where it can get extremely clusterfucky, to be honest.
I don't group up, I'm just gonna keep going in because fuck you.
And honestly, I don't like taking this route with Tracer.
Going
So,
in because fuck you.
we sort of luck out in that the enemy team isn't taking this route, but again, I don't like the fact that people... When you're engaging for the first time with Tracer, you want to be very careful in going with the rest of the team. You want to be just pulling a tiny bit of attention. You don't want to go super deep, but you want to be looking for some sort of angle to get in and do a little bit more damage. Look for the one-clip opportunity, look for a chance to get something done, and then find that angle and push in. By just following the route that the entire team is taking, if their team is pushing forward, we're relying on Genji of all people right now to protect us. And that's just not going to cut it. Like, if their team was pushing out in the same direction, if their team rolled out in the same direction, we would be in a lot of trouble, and we wouldn't even be able to do any damage going this way. I'd also just be wary, especially in modern dive, where the Winston is, like, a huge factor. If you are stuck in the 6-stack, and the Winston just lands on you and does a shitload of damage, okay, it looks like their team rolled out without a Lucio, which is fucking stupid. Hey! Riki... Yeah, I'm gonna go with Riki Kuro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get some scrub pipe going. Like, if the Winston just dives on you and you're all in a big 6-stack like that, he's just going to start melting you. So you want to be a little bit careful with doing that. I don't like Tracer on the high ground. This, to me, is Soldier 76 positioning, not Tracer positioning. Now we get an opportunity, we can start going in, but we could have been doing that from a closer angle and getting more done. Rather than just trying to take the high ground, where if they fight us directly, we're not really going to actually have too great a time. Good opportunistic kill on the McCree. The Reaper now causing a sphere of death, a zone of death around him. As he's going to be looking for those kills. Looking for those fat, juicy kills. Metabrit taking 3 weeks to type a taunt that isn't even good. Okay, so we've got a pulse bomb. We're going to be looking for an angle for it. We've got to be careful that there's the Reaper there. This is a very greedy pulse bomb that somehow gets a result. Let's cover this pulse. Like, this is more luck than anything, because this is telegraphed as fuck. Like, you see a Tracer doing this, where she's blinking into the middle of the team, she's going for a pulse. And the Ana just sort of blunders into it. She should not have done that, basically. And chances of that getting a result, again, it's just a little bit too direct and a little bit too obvious when you're trying to do something like this. And I find oftentimes it's just a struggle to make it work, because you're also, like, if you think about the engagement direction, like, if this line represents their team, this line represents our team, if you're coming in from this angle, everyone on their team is dodging like this, right? They're dodging sort of left and right, and they're thinking about threats coming from this direction. If you come in from this direction, chances of them moving, like, in a direction that benefits you more is actually a lot more likely. What you're about 60% of ladder pulse bombs kills are luck. Nobody's good with pulse bombs. They're fiddly, but you can maximize the chances, and one of the ways of doing that is not going in directly. Another one is just sticking it to the floor, like right next to someone who doesn't have a mobility skill available. That often gets results.
I had my defense matrix, but it didn't count for some reason.
A diva whining that defense matrix was buggy. Savor it.
No, there's no, like...
Apparently it happens every so often. We want to be very careful about re-engaging that McCree. We really can't afford to do it. He's going to do it to us, though. He does manage to miss the shots, which makes our life a little bit easier. We have to be very careful at the moment. Mercy could actually kill us here. Get the health pack, try and get out. Good. Good, 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 good. Let's hit the recall. Like, recall, get some health, find something. There we go. Lucio's picked us up. Anna's picked us up. I would be very wary of taking this fight. That was gimmicky as hell and risky as hell, but managed to work out. I think we still would have done better just pushing onto the point and clearing that rather than trying to engage the Reaper, because he can just, like, if we're flying up and he's coming down and he hits us in the head, we're just going to explode. Looks like the footage skipped there for a second. This is gimmicky and cute. And I think this is... like, you can do this, or we can just go around this way. Or in this way. Much the same effect. You managed to pull the Diva away.
I got the mech with it as well.
Diva Bomb looks good though. Diva Bomb worked out fine. Tracer. Again, we're sticking with the main group. I don't like the fact that we're doing this. There we go. That's better. That's better. Don't want to be caught up in the main pack. Want to be looking for ways to just put pressure on. The second we start doing that, look at this. Look how fucking low this Mercy is. She's being healed up though. Time to peel back.
I couldn't save the Genji.
Like this is where Ana Mercy can be a complete fucking nightmare. Is when they start supporting each other. You can see the Ana now supporting the Mercy. It becomes very difficult to start getting those kills, but we have managed to pull the healing attention at least away from the front line, which is a small advantage, but a little bit dicey.
Careful for his ultimate.
Use the graph. You see we're actually getting damage done. Let's stop focusing the Zarya though, because she's being supported. Let's try and find something else.
Careful for his ultimate.
Like, I appreciate that Zarya is moderately easy to kill if she's stuck with that bubbles, but once this nano boost, especially once you see the Mercies linked up, this is just time to stop. Reposition. Try and reacquire a target. A little bit too tricky.
How did that kill? I don't even know.
Reaper ult managed to clean everything up. Diva seems to be whining again. I love watching Divas whine. Diva should be disappearing next patch. Doomfist kind of destroys her. Nice chunky bomb. Too much off the back of it though. Maybe a little bit wasteful in the bomb. Like, let's actually try and judge this one. This is desperate, yeah. This is actually ridiculous. Like, they've all... Actually, no, we're contesting, but like, we're stalling, which is fine. Is what we should be doing, but the bomb is just wasteful. Like, even if the bomb lands, you're not going to kill them all, so... yeah. Let's save those bombs in those stalling situations. Imagine if we had a pulse bomb now and we just killed the McCree instead of almost getting killed by the McCree, but luckily he flubs. That Reaper is also going to be doing a shitload of damage. Heavy dive onto the McCree. Res picks him back up. We can get this Mercy. Good. Reassess targets. Zarya looks pretty juicy. Be careful about that pulse bomb. We have an Orisa on the point for some reason. I completely disagree with this Orisa pick. The Reaper's gonna just destroy her, as is the Diva. Let's get the health pack. Reaper's ulted. Okay. Now's... No! Why? Why use that bomb?
So far behind the corner, this is so
She's on half hit point. You don't need it. You don't need it. Either full clip or bomb. Don't do both. We should be getting out. We should not be fighting here. This fight is over. No, wait, was the timer? Yeah, okay, we're stuck in overtime. My bad. The weeb is throwing me off. Clearly. Either do one or the other. Don't do both. It's wasteful. And honestly, I'd say at this point, like, don't even bother fighting, or don't fight super hard, so especially like in this instance, don't expect to burst through this. If we just position behind the point, then we can probably hope to stall for longer, because this is center, and like, this is city center. This is a fucking ridiculous map. We can watch for people coming in on the respawns, and then we can just try and juke around as long as possible. McCree gets some good shots on us, then just anything looks at us and finishes us off.
Is this Roadhog like...
Until the Swiss and changes start coming in. We have a pharmacy for the flank comp. But then we see the changes happen even further. I think it might change again.
Maybe a mech.
So we're going to start out on the pharmacy, and so the difference with a pharmacy dive and a normal dive, like, we haven't really been playing super normal dive anyway, especially with the fact that we have a Roadhog involved. It's more like been like a weird counter dive, but the enemy team's been playing this very stodgy static comp, so I actually like this a lot better. But we do have to keep in mind we have a lot of hit scans on the enemy team, but it looks like they have changed that up with the Winston. So with this knockback here, I honestly think it would be better suited like more here, because this is not going to get, like, you might get this, but chances are pretty good that most of their team is always going to be tucked back here, so I don't mind like popping out a little bit more this way just to try and land it here, and then that can get all these guys sort of gunted quite nicely. One minor rocket or two going onto the dome as well, just to shatter it that bit faster. There we go, focusing the Mercy, good, 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 good. Feels good, man. Let's get on that Ana. Ana's backed off. Good direct hit. We should still probably be getting on this Ana. Like, if you're just rocketing the Zarya and Ana stood behind her, Zarya's just gonna get healed. Go back to contest the point. I like it. Fortunate reload, but it happens.
You're shooting at someone and then it gets dragged away. So
Nice kill on the Winston at the very least. Otherwise, peeling back now to be a little bit careful, wrapping around. Okay with this. Again, just a better angle for us. We have to be a little bit careful. Would have liked to see this Ana die way earlier. Because now you can see that now that the Mercy's there to support her, she's that much harder to kill. So we're going to have a tough time just peeling those two away. Like, if they can support each other, then they are going to do so, and it's going to be very hard for us to just explode them. We need other people to help with that. And a Mercy can be very, very safe if they have time to sort of protect one another. So you need burst, you need concise dive, you need something concentrated on them just to get that damage out.
hey, that guy's shit.
This is a burner fight. Like, we should be playing eco. Let him do that.
Actual level, and it's not a smurf.
Pull back, pull back. Okay.
The guy only played Ana and Mercy, gets carried with Ana and loses ranks with Mercy.
Can we switch to Diva?
Someone's being a salty, salty sailor in chat, apparently. Good lord. And he's doing the smash. One of us hanging around out here, by the way, because it's very hard for that. So what's nice about this position on the Pharah, like, let's talk about this position, because it's actually a pretty nice one. So if any, like, to go and fight us, because we can use, like, these pillars for cover, we can use all this high ground for cover. We actually have a lot of sort of spaces to nip in and out of. If anyone has to run out here to try and fight us, it's so easy for us just to get the knockoff. Like, it's really, really easy to boot people off, and it's like a kind of a nice edge bait. So, like this Winston, for example, be an easy conk blast to put it there. Unfortunately, I think we wasted it and just shooting it into the dome or something. No, otherwise we're relatively safe, sort of bouncing around here. There's health packs. We'll have line of sight with Mercy if we need to. Do want to be a bit careful getting close to their team at the moment. Like, we definitely have advantages just fighting from the long range, especially if the this is ballsy. This is a bit stupid. Especially if their soldier is busy elsewhere, then we definitely have long range advantage. I'd just be very careful and, like, coming out here just because this is here, and then you got these two again. Like, they're going to be right next to each other, and without any support, with it just us on our own and nothing else happening on this dive, it's very likely that we just poke our nose out here and we can just get killed. You can see we're already down quite low. And I think that's the soldier over there, and if he was paying any kind of attention, we should be dead. It's a ballsy ult. Manages to pay off. Mercy has res. Waiting. She's waiting. Down barrier goes off. Mercy needs to res now.
I'm gonna die.
Wait, what? Okay. So, first and foremost, if you have a Mercy sat on the sidelines with res, don't sound barrier, for the love of God. But once that sound barrier goes down, Mercy needs to try and get into position to pick up as many people as possible, because people aren't going to die anymore. So she uses... am I hallucinating? What the fuck? She has ult here? And then... oh no, because this is the hero select screen. Okay, that's why it's confusing me, because it's not showing up there. She needed to res that. She can't afford... The team might win anyway, and she might be holding on for like a second res, but that's just greedy in my mind. Or you just don't res it at all. Like, being honest, the sound barrier should not have happened, and that's sort of the big problem that's sort of throwing me off. The idea is that you, like, the optimal combo is that you lose as many people as possible, you get the res, and then you sound barrier to re-engage super hard. The sound barrier will cover you as you re-engage. Well, the swap to the Genji is an interesting one. I agree with sort of the swap off the Pharah at the very least, because she just wasn't We weren't playing her well enough, and we weren't getting enough done. Sort of playing too independent. Unless he does manage to save the rest, though. Okay. Otherwise, we're just going to be poking around, fishing around, seeing what we can find. And this is what we should be doing now, like as Genji. I hate it when Genjis get passive and just wait. We need to be seeing where the enemy team is going at the very least. Like, this is, to me, one of the big tasks of playing Tracer and Genji, is just scouting for your team, then finding angles to where you can go in, but also seeing which way they're going for their attack. So the Reaper went under. We now have deflect, so we can just peel away from it. That's fine. Got the health. Use the wall climb instead of using dash. Good. Good what damage we can. Find some isolated targets. That's an ulting soldier. Very hard for me to tell because the voice lines are in Japanese. I've also got it very quiet, but it's...
They're real slow.
There's some salty sailors in the voice chat, apparently. This is very bold, and we get lucky that he just... Like, I'm fine when you have deflect up. Like, when you have deflect up, absolutely go and charge after the Soldier 76 and then get the deflect. But in instances like this, he should be... Like, the next target he goes for should be us, and we get very lucky that he focuses on the Winston instead, who's in a bubble. Because if he focuses on us, we die even quicker.
Oh god.
Mercy finally uses res. Combo with the McCree. Get a juicy kill. Dragon Blade here seems greedy.
Okay, two Mercies sort of 1v1ing each other.
Like, the fact that they've now resed... Like, having Dragon Blade now, for example, would be infinitely more useful. It's kind of like we had an advantage and then we just threw it away just by being a touch too impatient and a touch greedy.
Oh god.
Like, we just got the res back. Their DPS is pretty much all dead. We come back to the point. Let's just take a moment to survey. Like, this is sort of poor awareness coming out of us. Where we go in now for the Dragon Blade and then they res and the 2 DPS on the high ground and back up.
Two Mercies sort of 1v1ing each other.
And then their Mercy wins a fight, apparently. You can try and repair the damage. We got the drop with the Beto. The Beto was dropped. Soldier was dropped. Managed to hold on. We should push, push this. Especially get rid of that Mercy. Clean that up. Very nice. Very, very nice. Some good hits on this area. This area is badly overextended, actually. Your team should go aggressive on this because, like, let's time it out. So Roadhog dies now. Mercy died about 5 seconds ago. So it takes about 10 seconds to respawn and another 10 seconds. So it's going to take about 20 seconds for Mercy to get back here. So the fact that this area is pushing now, this tells us that we know that Roadhog's not there. And we haven't really lost anyone recently. So whatever's pushing in now is actually under strength. We can be aggressive on this. Because, like, there's no Mercy to support this Ana, for example. So if we hesitate here, then there's a chance that they get reinforcements in, but it's very, very unlikely. And as you can see, the Mercy's only now just getting included in the fight, so just keep that in mind, that if you are having, like, this sort of protracted fight and then someone seems to die super late and disjointed from the rest of the team, it's going to be tricky and they're going to come in disjointed. And you could say that this area might be trying to contest, but honestly, she's throwing. Because you only really need to motor in when you're on like 95%. This is too early. And as a result, someone dies before they even really needed to start contesting.
Thank you.
Hey, I had shuttled him to 1 HP.
The SR for this game is, yeah, like mid-diamond, I would say.
What?
Any changes up to the team lineup? Don't think so.
Black punch, kid. Spray machine, bro. Black.
They're clearly having fun with the lighting engine here. Oh, we have to use dash to get out of spawn. So again, we want to just poke out, have a look, see what's there, and then decide our course of action. And we can instantly sort of get a good feel for it. So, again, they're running, I think, the Reaper McCree. Like, there's a ball here that is just very fucking scary. Like, we want to stay kind of away from this. This is juicy as hell, and we kind of want that. So we also have a Lucio now, which is actually quite scary.
Other dice because he's retarded.
We get the dash through several people. It's going to be good for ult charge, but if you're doing that kind of thing, then we want to be playing heavily for ult charge and less for picks, which honestly at the moment not a bad idea. So I'm actually fine with us taking that dash because I want to point out, what's your ult charge meter? 25, 26, 20% ult charge in a single dash. This fight's already been lost, so what we're trying to do is we're not necessarily trying to kill people anymore, we're just trying to build as much ultimate as we can to get a Dragon Blade as quickly as possible. When teams are playing this close together, you can actually do that pretty reliably. Like as Genji, if you take like a 6-man dash, it's going to work pretty nicely for you. I mean, just getting these Dragon Blades super quick. I like the swap to the Diva.
Either shots, but it's still like a big yeah.
This feels like a touch early and greedy to me.
Yeah.
Well, we could be letting Diva do that first push. Have our deflect up and available.
Thank you.
No, it's good. This Zarya is not going to go down any fucking time soon. She's got Mercy just pocketing her. So, yeah. And that's a wipe. So they're using resources. Okay, we trade res for Sand Barrier. It's okay-ish, but that fight is done. You are looking for picks, and you are looking to get a couple of kills. Like, at best, team should not be pushing in at the moment, and should be just surrendering. In terms of, like, surrendering, that fight was lost. Actually, I want to highlight something that was just said, because this annoys the shit out of me.
Or just not charge his barrier.
Which is not charge the Zarya's barrier. I've never liked that advice past a certain level. Never ever liked that advice past a certain level. And the reason why is pretty simple, is that a good Zarya will be able to opportunistically be able to get quite high. Like, if you give the Zarya time, you should be able to climb up in charge pretty reliably. And especially if you're entering into close fights like this, the Zarya getting charged is kind of an inevitability, more than anything. So she's already on a quite high charge, and if the fight's going to happen in here, she's going to just get higher. Which gives you sort of one or two choices. You either try and burn the Zarya, or you just try and ignore her and try and win the fight outside of the Zarya. We try and burn the Zarya here, but no one else is. And once we notice that no one else can sort of push through this, this is when we need to be going opportunistically on the Mercy. Sort of the realization that, okay, like if Mercy is healing the Zarya's already got 400 hit points, got bubbles, got a Lucio and a Mercy healing her, she is not dying anytime fucking soon. Not without like a full commitment or like a Roadhog hook landing. Roadhog's already dead, so problems abound. Mercy, however, slightly more vulnerable.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
To pillows.
Hello! Hello, Brother Shaw, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you back. Or not even back, you've been around. Thank you for the 7 months. Depolos, apparently. Don't even know what that means, but it means something. That would have been a juicy charge, but I don't like that res at all. The reason why I don't like this res is because, like, their team's already in a good position. Like, Reaper didn't even ult there, so there's a good chance that Reaper could just press Q now, for example. And it's like, the team reses, but there's no good position for a fight there. And so that bounce back is never gonna just work.
Can we focus this area, like everyone?
Or just not charge his barrier?
Oh, Depelo. Okay, yeah. No, okay. Okay, I get it now. Interesting target priority. There we go. Find the Mercy, kill the Mercy. If you don't kill the Mercy, we're fucking up. Otherwise, our job's done. Like, at that point, we got value. Very nice. Very, very nice. And just clean up. Like, this was textbook. I think our first jump was a little bit sort of wrong. So if we just track through this. Like, our priority #1 is to get that Mercy. Because she hasn't rezzed. At least I'm not reasonably certain she didn't res at any point during any of this. So they have res. So if we don't kill the Mercy, we've got problems. We charge in and Mercy sort of makes a fundamental mistake, comes up and we get the target. We're getting the damage amp on us as well, so we might as well be nano boosted pretty much in terms of how we function. Get an easy kill on the Mercy. Everything else now is just clean up. This is McCree being very silly. and doesn't get anything.
Nice.
Fantastic technique.
I love
Good stuff.
Power Rangers voice lines. They're so good.
Yes.
So they're talking about his Power Rangers voice lines, which we can't hear because Metabrit runs the Japanese voices for some bizarre reason. Again, I'd just be a little bit cautious of getting like too caught up in just spamming here. It's interesting to know that like now that we see the Zarya go this way, we can sort of guess where the main thrust of their team's going to be. Because if this is Zarya on her own, then she's just being stupid and not playing Zarya well. It looks like it is Zarya on her own, so we can just be a little bit aggressive, support the Roadhog a little bit maybe. But this is what we expect, and then the moment of glory. The moment of absolute glory. Where Zarya fucks up monumentally. So if you're playing Zarya and Genji hasn't deflected, ladies and gents, be very, very careful about firing grabs. Because you don't get many grabs, especially not in King of the Hill. You don't get many grabs at all. And if you fuck one up, it hurts your team quite a lot. Quite a lot. Because now, basically, the defending team has a huge advantage because they know that a massive ultimate is down. They even use Death Blossom, but we just res through it. And this fight is basically done. Again, we're just in cleanup mode. They've res. This is a bad res by them. Oh, excuse me. Throwing bad money in. Throwing bad money. Well, good money after bad, basically. To use the phrase. Good evasion. Like, we know that we're low. We know that we can't fight the Zarya, so we just try evading, use the wall climb, get away. All of this Genji play is pretty fucking solid. I'd say that the biggest issue we have is we're a bit too front line thinking, or like... It's fine going in on the front if you're playing proper dive and full dive when everyone else is going in on the front, but if you're just going, like, if you're playing a more normal standoffy comp, or you're playing in more of a normal standoffy way, going in the front on Genji and Tracer especially is always going to be a little bit vulnerable. That's more McCree's position. So, you know, the McCree should be occupying a lot of the places that we've been occupying, and then we should be more free-ranging, looking for poke, looking for ways to just build up Dragon Blades and get more value off the back of it.
Reaper behind, I booped him.
Reaper's backed off, we can take our time. How do we actually end up losing that fight? Let's talk about this should be like a fucking done fight, and then we end up losing it. And so how do we lose this battle? Reaper gets a good kill on Roadhog, but Roadhog needs to probably swap by this point. Death Blossom gets another kill that doesn't get rezzed. So they res, and then we just seem to fuck up somehow. Because we're trying to kill the Reaper too early, okay. Now we're trying to kill the Zarya, but the Mercy's healing it. We need to stop ignoring this Mercy. That's how we fuck up. Poor target prio. So the thing with Genji is that his DPS in normal fights isn't great. It's a little bit unreliable. If you do get reliable with it, he's a fucking monster, which is part of why Shadowburn is so good. But if you're just a mere mortal like the rest of us, his DPS in normal fights is just not fucking amazing. You can get a good burst off if you right-click slant, you can get a good burst off if you get some headshots, but in general, your DPS is never going to be super, super high. So what that means is that if you're fighting targets being healed by a Mercy, killing them is actually difficult. Because you're going to have a hard time just wearing them down to the point where your burst will finish them off, and so if you ignore a Mercy healing people, the Mercy's just going to keep them alive through all of it.
Well, I got some time, some charge.
And then the Lucio throws his life away. That's really, really bad for us. Let's just try and build. Right now, all we should be thinking about is getting this Dragon Blade, because that's going to turn the fight. They used res last fight. They probably have Sound Barrier. I don't remember them using it. So they're going to use Sound Barrier to counter it, but we can still probably work through that. Unless we can pressure this Lucio, like this would actually be an opportunity. If the Lucio positions like this, we should definitely be trying to just get a couple more shots onto this Lucio. The other DPS should also be focusing this Lucio, because this is why stock checking is so important. Like, let's say that Lucio does have sound barrier for sake of argument. Just say, like, as a general conceptual idea. And if the support that you're trying to, like, if a support has an ult, and you want to get rid of that ultimate so you can use your ultimate to maximum effect, putting pressure on that support is really, really important. It's why I think Doomfist ult, Meteor Crash, is going to be really good against Zenyatta, because it instantly puts pressure on the Zen, because the second that you use it and you just target Zenyatta with it, Zenyatta has to Transcendence or he's going to fucking die. Like, if he survives the drop, which he might, he won't survive the follow-up combo. So he's just going to die. And the same is kind of true for Lucio as well, where if you can just put pressure on him, chances are he's going to have to use the defensive ultimate, or he dies and the team doesn't have the defensive ultimate. So you're trying to just pressure out these ults, and if you do a stock check before you're doing any kind of push of, okay, what do they have? Oh, they have sound barrier probably. Okay, let's pressure this. And then if you pressure the Lucio, he uses the sound barrier. Okay, then you bide your time, you wait 5 seconds, Dragon Blade, kill everyone, win. And it's sort of this very methodical but very, very strong way of playing. And if you watch how pros play, that's quite often like what they're trying to do with a lot of their dives, is anticipate what support ultimates are available on the enemy team and then go off that. Because if we just go in now, we're going to probably just get sound barrier and not really do much. So we go in, sound barrier goes out, we get stopped. They use defensive abilities, we can't do anything, Deadeye also comes in, kills everything. And you can kind of see the like how predictable that was.
Was a 100% charge area there.
Okay. It's 2-2. Even splits on both sides.
Like, he just went in our team and attacked Mercy and me. And nobody noticed.
So apparently, like, what are they screaming about? And
Like, he just went in our team and some charge.
so apparently, like a Zarya.
Real talk. Oh, sorry.
It's gonna be later, isn't it? It's gonna be later. No?
He just walked in.
We don't have a hog now for some reason.
There's a McCree in our team.
There's a McCree in our team.
He just walked in.
So this is where I hate people just calling stuff like this. Because you can see we're looking for it, and if we spot it, we probably just kill him. And this is why I say that if you're going to call something, try and give some kind of position.
He just walked in.
Of just like McCree behind, and then we can see where these guys are going, we can try and push that. And honestly, pushing that wouldn't have been a bad idea here. I think that would have been a better idea than trying to go for this Dragon Blade, because that's kind of destined to fail.
There's a McCree in our team. He just walked in.
Like, we still have 7%. Can maybe get something done with that. Sort of cutting it a bit close, but, you know, there are people in position who can sort of put the toe on the point. The Lucio should not be following the McCree around, and then we should be the one doing that. Because the Lucio is probably the one who needs to go and contest.
How is your rest, Marcy?
It's like he stood in a line behind the Reaper.
Okay, final map. Still on the Gengu. Honestly, it's been working okay for us. The biggest issue has just been like poor target priority and poor actual dive. Like, this is not a dive comp, this is just a slugger comp. We are just fighting it out, so we need to be opportunistic and avoid fighting targets that are a bit too durable. I'm fine with us taking a one-on-one versus Reaper though. And the reason why I quite like Genji Reaper as a matchup is that if it's all based on how the deflect goes, because there's a kind of a weird thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this if you've played Reaper, but when you are playing against a Genji and he deflects, it's actually very, very hard to feel how much damage you've taken. Like, because you shoot into it, and I think the weirdness comes from the fact that at that distance, like, let's say that, you know, at this distance, we get a deflect off onto the Reaper. At this distance, Reaper's not really doing much damage to us. We take 35 damage from the first shot, and then we get a deflect, and you can see the deflect does about 75, 80 damage. And it's like, we take 35, he takes 80. 80 damage, because it's all redirecting into one focused spot. And it's so fucking strange as the Reaper, and you've got to be so careful in this duel not to shoot into the deflect, because when you do, you just get annihilated. And I find a lot of Reapers don't understand this, and it's very easy to just bait them into doing a million fucking damage into themselves. World's freest Lucio, don't know what he was trying to do there, good cleanup. That was very, very nicely done. Try cleaning up on the point. That Reaper's super low. Just try and keep an eye on where that Reaper went. That honestly would have been a fine finish up. Because if we get that, like, he's running towards where the Mercy is. So we see Mercy actually to the left. So we want to be thinking about where that Mercy's going. Okay, Mercy's gone this way. And I'm less keen on us, like, fighting these tanks at the moment. Because we could just be causing so many issues in the back line. Which is kind of what McCree seems to be doing.
I'd like to, but I'm baby.
So it's like McCree's doing a lot of our work for us. And we're doing good damage on the front, but we could probably be doing even more on the back. Their supports are back, and you notice now that their supports, because they've just been constantly healing up, and their tank, like, the Roadhog died, sure, but the Zarya's still going. We might be able to just clean up here. Good restraint, don't use Dragon Blade. Very nice. Very, very nice recovery. It's could have gone very badly. I think it's more of a failure on their Mercy's part than more than anything. Like, their Mercy's still alive at this point. And then this area just needs picking up, but there's nothing picking her up except for a Lucio. So their Mercy's clearly fucked up somewhere. Because we see Mercy there, and so I'm so confused as to why she's not supporting this area that's getting focused. Hashtag just Mercy things, I guess. Their team had a big advantage, threw it away, because Mercy fucked up. Mercy fucked up! Alright, let's see. We got Dragon Blade available. They're probably going to have their support ultimates available. Pretty goddamn confident on that one, especially the Mercy res should be available. We spot out the Mercy. Good target prior. Very nice. And we scoop up a free Lucio. The free Lucio.
Oh, I thought I picked it up. Shit, I can't defensively fix that.
I don't know where it is.
Perfectly fine with how we duke that. It's worth mentioning though, like, especially if you're in like a 2-stack. So when something like this happens, like, we should be calling deflecting. It's fine anyway, people get into cover enough. Maybe finish him off. Good job. Very close, but we managed to do it. Now it's just Zarya and Roadhog. We can bully both of these. Easy kill on the Zarya. He just dropped low. Mercy picks up the res. Get ready on the re-engage. Very nice damage onto the McGriff. I'm not sure why we're... Okay. Right, okay, so we peel off because the whole hog. I actually like that. Because we can deflect it, we can get rid of that threat. Then we can take our time. Easy clean up on the Lucio. This is bold to me. Also, like, just to mention, I don't like this dash here. So if we're fighting a Roadhog, I mean, fighting Roadhog 1 versus 1, like, assuming the Mercy isn't here, the fact that the Mercy's here means that we have a problem. Like, this is basically, let's get a Dragon Blade and go away, because we're never going to kill him. But when fighting a Roadhog 1-on-1, I find that just keeping a hold of the dash is more important than, like... Think of, like, each movement you do as something just to confuse or dodge a hit. And so we've already sort of completed the first movement to dodge this hit, where we've gone over him. And so like, it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to track us up and over, especially because we actually have options when we're here. We can, like, try and land over this side, we can try and land more behind him. We actually have a lot of positions available for this chat. By committing the dodge to this, then we leave ourselves a little bit vulnerable. When we land somewhere, he has an easier shot on us, because we've already committed the dash evasion. And we don't have a tool then to just, like, go through him, like, literally just go through him. We do build up quite a good bit of ultimate, but we peel away. Help with that. I think, like, going back for this Roadhog, like, once we get the Dragon Blade, sure, then we get an opportunistic kill, which we don't even help out in. Now we need to be thinking about our Dragon Blade. It's also probably worth mentioning we should press tab, or ask this area. I think looks like Zarya's... Yeah, Zarya's announced Grab's ready. Okay, so we know that Grab's up and ready to go. Good job by the Zarya. Just clean this up. Don't need to commit any resources to it. Don't know what she's doing. This area's been kind of thrown all game.
Nice.
Did they use sound barrier at all game?
Korean carry here.
I actually want to check, like, if their Lucio's really fucked this game up. I'll do it on 2x speed. Because if he didn't use sound barrier at all, what a huge waste that is. Like, he dies early there, so he's not getting any ult charge in this first fight. Which is kind of important.
Oh fuck. Well, I using first mate some shit.
Oh. Oh. The ludicrous speed is too much. I didn't see a sound barrier, which... That's kind of huge. He's back in the fight, and sort of this is a fairly long fight. This is where the Mercy doesn't support this area. Lucio goes down, still no sound barriers. Then let's see. Biding a time. Dragon Blade comes out. He dies again, quite early. Still no sound barriers. You expect at least one. You expect at least one ult per round. Res happens. Still no sound barrier. Dies now. Isn't part of this fight.
I got the mercy.
I mean, this is kind of the first time playing normally even come for me, so I'm shit.
And then this fight, like, again, this area goes in way too early. Like, this area's just been trickling in like crazy. And then, okay, so I think he tries to sound barrier here and then just dies. Oh, the game feels so slow now, doesn't it? So I think we draw the Dragon Blade. And if we listen...
Let's get into 9-9.
It's hard to tell 'cause,
Let's get into 9.
like, this will be the moment that he has to do it, and I don't think he did it.
That made me so dizzy.
It made me so dizzy as well.
Our Korean carry here.
The game feels slow now.
I couldn't book him.
And he's just gonna die, down it goes. I sort of knew this going in.
It's one shot.
Nice, good job, guys.
On this footage, that MADA is a very competent Genji, okay? So a lot of what we're going to be focusing on in terms of like actual what's useful coaching, what is useful info for him, is going to be relatively nitpicky. And I'd say like the biggest things is just like approaching directions is generally just seems a little bit off. Some juicy dashes there. Oh, the deflect kill. Feels good, man. It's nice when the team facilitates that. And like even on Tracer, like in dive meta, this will work quite nicely. Like when you're playing with like a good Winston and the Winston is coordinating with you and you are diving in and playing aggressively, that's going to work really nicely. Like this sort of approach where we're going to go in. But even then, just trying to find, like, especially on, this is more true for Tracer than Genji, where if you have the team here, this is the enemy team, this is our team. Like, our team wants to engage like this, but Tracer especially wants to engage more like this. Because you only have 150 hit points, it does not take much just to, like, the enemy team's going to be putting pressure out. Usually some form of spam is going to be happening this way. We want to be very careful about getting caught in that. So, like, seeing stuff like, you know, this initial rollout on the Tracer,
Group up, I'm just gonna keep going in because fuck.
where we just do this, like, I don't like this at all. And I think if most of the team's going this way, then we should be considering at least peeling off this way, and then seeing what we can find over here, so that most of the team is fighting here, we're fighting here, and then we're creating threats from multiple angles. Especially if the enemy team gets there slower than us, that's great. I don't think we should definitely be taking the high ground, just because this feels of limited effectiveness. This is safe to do, and it's kind of good for our, like, finding an opportunity, but they get an early advantage. And then if they keep getting this advantage, like if they properly snowballed this and sort of just got more kills, then any chances we have, you notice that 2 people are dead, that's because we're kind of not involved in this fight. Like, the damage that we're doing now is so fucking negligible that we're not really doing anything until we drop down and commit to the Mercy. Now we're starting to do stuff, and now we're starting to contribute, but we could have been doing this even earlier. And, like, it's worth pointing out, like, when we're doing this, McCree's on about full health. He loses about 60. We can, and Tracer's full clip does like 260 damage to body shots.
Yeah, or
So we could do a lot more.
as in
And then Reaper just gives us a slap on the bum, and down we go. Right. I'm going to take some questions, so now it's time to start asking questions. Feel free to ask about Doomfist, feel free to ask about Tracer, Genji, Dive Comp, the future of Dive Comp, all that kind of shit. We're taking them now, and I'll see you guys in part 3. Oh.